anything that I ever had to take. You know, I mean, it was a side airbag, so it hit me on the side of my head, and it's long. So I said after getting out of the car, it felt like I was at a bar, had a few drinks with Marcos Maidana, and I was like, hey, bro, I want you to hit me like 3 times upside my head. Go, you know, cause it was just one bop, but there was pain here, there was pain here, and there was pain there. So I say, you know, it was 3 right hands from Marcos Maidana is what it felt like from that one airbag. Yeah, and even though I haven't fought Marcos, I'm just.
You still in Clearwater? You live there?
Yes, sir. Bought a house back there. I was here in St. Pete for a little while, but all me and my dogs, my girl, we were in a apartment. Three dogs at that time. 3 dogs
girl,
at that time.
now 4 dogs.
Yeah,
right?
4 dogs.
And is this the oldest one, Little Champ?
He's the youngest.
He the baby?
He's the baby. Yeah, he's the baby boy.
I guess you don't mess with him. I mean, you can't.
Oh, I beat him up all the time. Oh no, I beat him up all the time.
Keith, how bad was that injury? I know you had to go see a chiropractor for it and everything.
Yeah, so in detail, right? I go and I see a doctor, I get x-rayed. He says, be careful, you know, you just got in an accident, you know, through the x-ray, we don't see no too many crazy spinal issues right now. We're gonna put you on an adjustment regimen. You should be okay, but you need to be careful because trauma happens to the spine in accidents, and you can have a delayed reaction, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, doc, I'll pay attention. It is what it is. We pay attention for a few days. Then I'm like, we think we're fine. We'll go back into the regular routine. Nothing. Who cares, right? So I spar, and I do 8 rounds, 4 with one guy, 4 with Edner Cherry, right? And I was being a little bit more aggressive, and Edner kept hitting me with these little jabs as I was trying to bolt in. And there's one time where I bolted in, I bent my knees, I came down, and as I swooped down, I got hit with a jab, and it pinned my neck back. And to me, that was probably the most jarring of any punch, and it was a jab. So there wasn't a lot. I didn't get hit with a lot of major punches, and not one punch made me stop. After the 8th round, I go to get water, and I realize it's hard for my chin to just simply rise up to get the water. There was a restriction there, and it was a little nerve-wracking. I didn't want to say nothing at the time. We had a gym packed full of people. I didn't want to startle Dan, nobody. And I said, all right, Keith, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna spar 1 more round. You're not gonna get hit at all. You're gonna really avoid being hit. And then you're just gonna say that's good for the day because it was 9 rounds. 9 rounds was fine for that point in camp, and I didn't want to try to alarm nobody. I got out of the ring. I started talking about it. I realized I could not move my neck over my shoulder. I simply could not do this motion, and to even try to was very strenuous and very painful. So the weekend goes by. I go see my chiropractor over that weekend. He works on me, and it moved better. It moved better that following Monday. Showtime camera crew was here. We came into the gym to work. My doctor calls me that morning and says, because even though he saw me that weekend, I said, hey doc, how serious is this? And he said, well, we kind of don't know, Keith. There's people heal differently, da da da. And he never gave me a blunt answer. So that morning he calls me, he goes, Keith, you might need to consider pulling out this fight. And I go, you didn't say nothing like that yesterday, doc. What's this coming from? Da, 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 da. Really, really, really? He started breaking it down to me, and I think he just didn't want to hit me with that news right away, you know? So I go to the gym, and it's before I even hit the gym, I'm like, I know he's not playing. He said, go, you know, I want you to go see another doctor, go get another, you know, some more advice. Yeah, and get the MRI. But get it looked at and get another doctor's opinion, right? Because it's always good to cross-reference. So I come to the gym though, I call Al Heyman, I tell him what the doctor told me just to put him on.
You call Al Heyman directly? Just ask him because you know a lot of people don't do that.
I made my statement. Anyways. So I let him know what the situation was, and I was nervous. He said, "Don't worry about anything." I said, "I'm on my way to the gym now. I'll let you know how today goes." He goes, "Please do, Keith. Call. Let me know how today goes." I come to the gym. The camera crew's here. I wanted to start off with some jump rope like I normally do. Start off with jump rope. My neck's hurting. I say, all right, let's just put the rope down. Let's not think too much about it. Let's just put the rope down. Let's shadow box. I start shadow boxing. I go to throw a left hook. My neck's hurting. I literally, honestly, man, no lie, man, I bust out into tears, man. I bust out into tears. The
accident was late February.
Yes, sir. The knowing of the disappointment of having to pull out of the fight, right? You know, I ain't no Dodger, man. I ain't doing nothing. And I have no reason to pull out of a fight outside of an injury. And a lot of people don't know, some real people know, that a lot of fighters are never 100% for almost any fight, right? And you fight through things. But this neck was something I couldn't fight through. So just knowing, and the camera crew was here to film.
So
we had to send them home. There ain't nothing to film. And the fight's off. The day they came was the day the fight was about to be called off, you know? So, and I know it was almost a little kind of close to the fight, just maybe a little bit further than where we are right now, a little bit further out on the announcement. So, you know, it was what it was, man. It was very depressing, man. I felt obligated to the fans, you know. Al reassured me, you know, you're not messing up anything, you know. Shawn's still gonna be there. This is the fight they want. This is everything. You know, I had a lot of reassurance from my team, from my doctors, from Al himself, and that just made it so that we can do what we needed to do and get a new date, which we did as soon as possible by talking to our doctors and doing what we could do. And now here we are, man, making this fight happen. After this injury, you know, I could say, hey, I'm not 100%. I don't want Shawn Porter. I don't want him. Kell Brook had an injury, ended up not fighting Diego Chavez last year, you know, and several other fighters throughout this year. There's already been injuries, man. So injuries happen. The one thing I'm happy about is we were able to do what I say, go into recovery camp so that we can get back into training camp and make the fight that the fans want to see happen.
Is that frustrating knowing that, because I know Kenny kind of took some shots and questioned whether or not you were really injured? Because I remember when you made your HBO debut, I think you had some
if I don't want to
something
fight
like that done, and you still fought, right? Right?
Yeah,
and you're supposed to fight Maidana in that fight. So
yeah, but that was just a tooth, man. It's no real pain in that, and it's already removed.
But I remember back then, that was something that was on your mind, knowing that you were going into the fight, like, oh man, like I got to deal with this. So is it just frustrating knowing that? I mean, you're never 100% going into a fight, and then, you know, to have another trainer of a fighter say something like, I don't know if he's really hurt or something like that.
I mean, it's, of course, man. Of course they're going to say that. Everyone's going to have doubt. Right away when something happens, someone's going to be in disbelief, right? I knew that when the announcement was going to happen, you know. So that's why it doesn't matter, man. If I really wanted to pull out of the fight, I had every opportunity to completely pull out of the fight, and that's my statement. Even coming back into camp, I could say I'm coming back into the camp, but I'm not ready for no Shawn Porter, and I can legitimately say that and avoid him if I'm trying to avoid him. Ain't nobody trying to avoid Shawn Porter, you know. I mean, look at all the named fighters that fought Shawn Porter, because nobody's trying to avoid Shawn Porter. Nobody's scared of Shawn Porter. You see, Shawn Porter can beat you. He's he's durable. He comes to win, but nobody's scared, you know. He can hit you hard, but he's not known to be the most devastating puncher getting people out of there. I respect Shawn's punch. I know it personally. I know it from being in here, and I've known it from watching him as an amateur competing at 165 pounds. But you know, as a 12-round fighter, his strength and conditioning, the way he throws his punches in bunches, he doesn't sit down as much.
You know him from his amateur days in training.
Yeah, we've known each other since about 17 years old.
He always talks about, you know, picture you, hey, fastball, 22 knockouts. What's your knockout? What is your knockout? Is it a jab? What is it?
It's normal. I say the left the left hand has more knockouts than the right hand, but you know, it's the left hook. If you go and you look at the highlights, the left hook, and nowadays my variation of the left hook, which is really just the left uppercut. You know, when I got
You can show us.
You got a jab.
Carras. When I knocked out Soto Carras, it was with a 1-2 uppercut. The funny thing is, I throw that uppercut so naturally, I don't call it an uppercut no more. I call it a 3. When I throw a 1-2-3, I have 2 options for my 3. I don't label it as an independent number or anything. To me, it's 1-2-3. 1-2-3, 1-2-3. It's just a 3. It's all about the angle I want to throw it at.